Assalamu alaikum, marhaban bikum jami'an. In this episode, inshallah, we will try to understand the various types of fractures, their designation, their descriptive terms that denoting the shape, the pattern, or the etiology, or the clinical presentation of a fracture, inshallah. Firstly, we should know the head points of classification of fractures. It is classified according to the radiological seeing of the fracture and the etiology according to the cause and according to the clinical presentation of a fracture. Firstly, we are studying the radiological appearance. The transverse fracture, it is the first type, and it is caused by angulating force. Okay, transverse fracture caused by angulating force. This is the direction of the angulating force. While the second type is the spiral fracture, or it's called the oblique fracture. It's caused by twisting force or torsional force or shearing force. As we see, this is the direction of torsion or shearing force. The third type is the compression fracture. The compression fracture is caused by that the bones are do not lend itself full to anatomical reduction. Okay, because the spongy bone may be crushed and compressed and cannot be restored fully to its original trabecular form. This is the compression, and mostly the compression type of fracture, it's precipitated by another disease such as osteoporosis, osteomyelitis. Okay, the fourth type, it is the Greenstick fracture. Greenstick fracture, why we call it as this nomenclature, and which age group it will affect? Greenstick fracture mostly affect the young children, especially those who are before the age of 10 years. Greenstick fracture, they are incomplete breaks of the bone. It's caused by a longitudinal compressional force, and it's called Greenstick fracture because the bones of those child are just like the branches of young tree. So it's being easily crumbled or crushed by this compressional force. The last type, according to the radiological appearance, we have the comminuted fracture. Comminuted fracture is